What if I told you the world is shifting fast and most people don't even see how it all connects? We now have Bill and Hillary Clinton testifying at the Epstein case. Are the Democrats abandoning them? The Middle East is heating up. The U.S. shoots down an Iranian drone, and the important Iran talks have now been moved from Turkey to Oman as the death toll rises and threats against Americans grow louder. And then there's this famous word that we talk a lot about on this show, disclosure. Will it happen this year? We're going to connect all the dots with none other than my guest, Pastor Paul Begley. Let's go.
You're watching The Big Picture.
All right, Pastor Paul is in the house tonight. I'm telling you, it's going to be exciting. Every time he comes on the program, he's probably my longest standing. He is my longest standing guest to ever have on the Big Picture. He is not just a guest, y'all, of the Big Picture, not just a part of the Big Picture family. He is family. He's one of my best friends in the world, and I love him dearly. Y'all put your hands together and welcome the man, the myth, the legend, Paul Begley.
I just love you, Bishop. I love you and you and Sandy and the whole church at Solid Rock. And I love your fans. I love your crowd.
They're alive. Yes, they're always. Listen, they're so consistent. They even sound consistent every time you come on. They sound exactly the same. It's amazing.
Man, you got to. Are you serious, folks? They're walking in the leaders that you've been leading them, and they're following completely step in step. Perfect.
Yes. Pastor Paul, thank God for everything that you're doing. Man, what a crazy world. Every time we talk, we just think, how could it get crazier? But it gets crazier every time we talk.
It really is. And it's global. You know, it's just everywhere. Yeah. It's like on every level, every area, whether you're talking political, militarily, economically, spiritually, politically, you know,
absolutely.
Everywhere. And it's like, almost a sense, it's not total chaos, but it's like there's the ground is shifting. It's like the ground is shifting. There's only one solid rock.
Come on.
No pun intended.
Hey, no pun intended. Somebody ought to call a church that.
But his name is Jesus. That's right.
Yes.
So I'm going to stand on that.
Speaking of the ground shifting, I don't know if there's really going to be anything that come out of this or not. And we're going to go deep into a discussion of Iran, Israel, Gaza, disclosure. We're going to get into all of that. But I want to lead with the latest breaking news headlines at the time of this program. It is now being reported that Bill and Hillary Clinton are going to testify on the Epstein files. You know, they originally were going to defy that. Where they were petitioned to come before Congress, and then some Democrats sort of abandoned them. I was shocked and voted to almost hold them in contempt of court. So do you think, Paul, anything's really going to come out of this, or is this just going to be a bunch of talk where they say, you know, we plead the fifth and all the word salads that we're used to from Hillary? What do you think is going to happen? And then the second part of the question is, do you think anybody's ever really going to be prosecuted for these files?
Two great questions. Number one, I say you're going to see a real tap dance by Bill Clinton, and Hillary's going to keep saying, I don't even know why you called me. I'm not even sure why I'm here. But Bill is going to do the tap dance. He's going to not remember a lot of stuff, this kind of thing. No, I don't expect anything to come out of that. What's coming out of it, though, is the Democrats are severing ties with the Clinton regime. AOC saying, look, I think they should come and testify. You know, I mean, if people won't come in, we have to uphold the institution of the Congress, she said. So Democrats are cutting bait. They're cutting bait with the Clintons. It's a new regime. It's a new era. And, you know, AOC is one of those that's charging it. She's saying Chucky Schumer needs to go. The Clintons are done. You know, I mean, basically it's a new day. It's her and the little commie Mandami and that whole left-wing liberal move. So to answer the two questions, number one, no, nothing's going to come out of this as far as the Clintons. Number two, I don't think anything ever is going to come out of this. What we're going to find out is a lot of this redacted or a lot of these files they're releasing now is just hearsay. It's people sending notes and they're calling it files. People just sending notes, a lot of speculation, some half truth, some half lies. we're never going to get to this is never going to ever come clean. We just know a couple people are dirty. We know Epstein was dirty, and we know that the royal Prince Andrew is dirty. And we know there's several other people that are very highly suspicious, including Bill Clinton. But at the end of the day, we're just not going to get anywhere. I don't think. I really don't.
I totally agree. And the sad thing is, what about the victims? The victims are not going to get any kind of justice, and it's because they're victims of the most powerful people in the world. And here we are, millions of emails and files have come out, and not one single person has even been indicted, let alone had brought to justice. So I believe this is all just about trying to make it look like you're transparent. But I hate to say it, but I don't think anybody's going to be prosecuted.
I'm going to agree with you. Nobody's going to get handcuffs put on them. Nobody's going to jail. Nobody's going to be indicted. Nobody's going to trial. There's too much sin and tied up into both parties into this. There's just too many people on both sides that are in this thing. And so what they're going to do is use this for political theater. And the Republicans are using this to try to smear as many Democrats as they can. The Democrats could do the same thing toward Trump. And at the end of the day, what's going to come out of this is what has just happened. The Democrats are cutting bait with the Clintons. I mean, they are saying, nothing's going to happen to Bill Clinton or out of all this.
Yeah, right.
But this is the changing of the guard, and they're going to use it.
Yeah.
This is what's going to happen.
Because AOC is saying to me that there would be a possibility, but AOC is running for president. She'll probably end up being vice president nominee to Gavin Newsom or something like that. The two most crazy liberals in the world are probably going to get the nomination.
And let me say something about that. If it's Gavin Newsom and AOC, the two absolutely far left, the Democrats are making another fatal mistake. They tried this Joe Biden. They tried this Kamala Harris thing, and Harris and Waltz. You talk about a dance. And there was and these people were so far left. If you come back with AOC and Gavin Newsom, the Democrats are still placating to the far left wing of their party. They'll lose the center, and I'm saying bring it on, because I think whether it's J.D. Vance or whether it's Donnie Jr. or DeSantis or whoever else the Republicans want to throw out there. I just think it's a victory for 2028. Now, I'm going to say right now, though, we'll probably lose the House in 26. I almost concede that now, but we'll hang on to the Senate, and then Trump will be able to finish out his last 2 years and have gotten everything moving in the right direction before the midterms is over.
If we lose the House, will they not just boggle it up with trying to impeach him again and all that kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, I think they'll impeach him. I think he'll get a third impeachment, maybe even a fourth. He might call for a fourth just so he can hold the record so that no one will ever be I'm the most impeached president in history. I mean, this is something like we've never seen before. No one's ever seen anything like this before. I mean,
no. And it just really, it takes away from even what impeachment means. I mean, when you can impeach somebody that many times, I mean, used to when we were growing up, nobody was ever impeached in our lifetime. So now it's just like, hey, we get the House, we're going to impeach him. It's just a word they use now. It's just lost its value. It doesn't, because nothing's going to nobody's going to be impeached and removed as president on either side. They're just not going to do it because of the instability that it would bring. It's all just talk. It's all just theater.
Absolutely.
All right, Paul, let's move on to one of the things that you have been talking about a lot on your show, and you are very tied in, got connections on the ground. And you and I, the last time you were here, we talked about it. Things have changed dramatically since then. What is the latest that you're hearing from Iran? Of course, lead with, the U.S. shot down an Iranian drone that I think was threatening one of our ships. What does that mean? We'll go into some of the other details, but lead with that. And also, what are you hearing of the conditions on the ground in Iran?
Great questions, Bishop. Yes, we shot down an Iranian drone yesterday because that drone was a killer drone. It was the same drones that's used in Ukraine that the Russians are using. The Russians got from the Iranians. So this was a lethal, aggressive drone headed right for the USS Abraham Lincoln. I think they knew when they were sending it was a suicide mission for that drone. But the United States scrambled an F-35 that shot that thing out of the air. But simultaneously, the key is there were 3 or 4, I can't remember, gunboats that were buzzing a United States cargo tanker that was in the Straits of Hormuz with an American flag. This was an American flag ship that was full of chemicals, tankers of chemicals. And the gunboat of Iran was buzzing it, and then even stopped and spoke by radio to it and said, "We are boarding the ship. We are seizing the ship. We are going to take the ship." The good news is the United States had already sent some ships headed in that direction, so they were able to come and escort that cargo ship out of the international waters and into a safer area where they could protect it. So that was going on the same time that the drone was headed toward the USS Abraham Lincoln. And the same time that was going on, the Iranians were saying, we would like to move the meeting to Oman, from Turkey to Oman. Okay. So they were shifting diplomacy. They were threatening one of our U.S. tankers in the Straits of Hormuz, and they were threatening the USS Abraham Lincoln. So this is very interesting.
So, Paul, why did they want to move it? What was the reason behind Iran wanting to move it from Turkey to Oman?
Well, I think what it was is for security reasons. They did not feel 100% comfortable in Turkey as they do Oman. They own Oman. I might as well just say that Oman is almost, they're right in with them. And Turkey is supposed to be, but they're not sure. So because I've been saying this, I did this last Sunday night. I did a show called "Where Is Everybody?" Okay, when the United States took out Maduro, I thought Venezuela was a key ally of the Russians and the Chinese. When we were building and all around that, circling this guy and saying you need to do something, where is everybody? Right. We went in the middle of the night, took this guy out in his pajamas without losing a U.S. soldier. And where was China and where was Russia if he was? We just cut off the Venezuelan oil supply to China, which is one of their big time suppliers. Yes. Where are you? And then now we're in Iran. We got ships, everything. We got bombers. We got planes. We're circling. We're telling them, where is everybody? I thought they had this real tight alliance. Where is the Chinese? Where are the Russians? I'm starting to wonder if the United States superiority of technology has taken another level to where China and Russia know they better not try something right now because they may not have the capability to really do it. I'm hearing that the United States has a technological advance now from space that if Russia was to try to launch a nuke, we would blow it up in its silo.
Wow.
That's a game changer.
Before it ever even launches, we would know it and be able to eliminate it before it even launches.
Yep.
From space.
From space. From space.
What?
And if we can do that to them, and if we can do that to the Chinese, then that's why I'm asking the question. Where is everybody?
Well, I want to look, I was going to come back to this, and I may still delve into this when we get into disclosure later in the program. But I had a guest on my show, which, man, you would love this guy. I told him about you. His name is Darren Stott. He's a young pastor out in, I think, Seattle, Washington, and tremendously connected. And he says that he has people, and you may have heard this too, on the ground, eyewitnesses now that are saying more and more details about what happened in Venezuela. And of course, we knew about the weapon, the frequency weapon that everybody talked about, the blood coming out of their noses and all that kind of stuff. Yep. But there are eyewitnesses now that are stating to people that they witnessed, first of all, hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of drones came in immediately And when you see that shock and all, the blowing up the buildings and all that,
Yep.
100% of that was done by drones. And then they said there were helicopter type structures that came in. And these are the words of these Venezuelans: human-like soldiers descended out of the helicopters first and handled business. Then humans came on the scene. So they are literally saying now that there was some type of super robot soldier, super soldier, hybrid soldier that was used in Venezuela, and nobody wants to talk about it, but that's why it was so stealth, because these beings, or whatever they were not actually fully human.
Wow. I mean, that's gigantic.
Yeah.
That's super soldiers. It's super soldiers.
It's super soldiers. So what you're saying is we have such technology, and Trump keeps saying, y'all, we got stuff that you don't even know we got. So I think we do have stuff in space, but I think we've already have some type of super soldier. What do you think? Have you heard anything like that?
No, I did not hear that we have. I've always heard Russia's working on it, that Russia's coming out with this. But it would make sense that if Russia's working on it and Russia's trying to do something, we would probably be 15 years ahead of them, 15, 20 years ahead of them. And it does make sense. And wow, the fact that you would have eyewitnesses there saying, hey, these things that came out, these were robotic, or these were humanoid, or we don't know what. They look like humans, but they weren't.
Exactly.
And then they cleaned up, and then the real soldiers, the guys come in and just pick up pieces. This is incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah. So when we get into the discussion of disclosure, the question is going to be, and you'll be thinking about this as we move on, is that, the government keeps saying that we've been reverse engineering some technology. So I think that that's going to be part of what all this is about. So let's finish up on Iran, then we'll get back to that. But I wanted to give you that little nugget there.
I like that. That's big.
Okay,
wow.
So what do you think about, because, neither one of us support everything Donald Trump does. He's just a man. We've not made him God. By no means. There are things that he's said and done that we are not happy with, that we believe are not best for the country, and certainly for the Bible prophecy crowd. But we are supporters of the president. There's no doubt about it. I've made it very clear that I did vote for him, and I'll take him over the alternative any day.
Absolutely.
So, but what do you think about, and I'm concerned about this, and I just want to get your heartfelt response to this, is that President Donald Trump said, leave the protesters alone. If you start killing the protesters to Iran, we're going to come in. Mm-hmm. Well, it depends on who you listen to, but there are numbers all over the place. On the low end, 20,000. On the high end, 80,000, maybe even 100,000 that have been eliminated by their own government. Yep. And he said, remember when it was in the hundreds and maybe a couple of thousand, he said, help is on the way. So I'm a little disheartened by the fact that I hear Donald Trump now saying, I'm negotiating with the Ayatollah for a nuclear deal. And it almost sounds like he's trying to find a way to keep them in power and negotiate this nuclear deal. Or is that a chess play? What is that? Because I think to the Iranian people, I don't think they ever thought help is on the way meant we're going to negotiate with those that are killing us.
No, I think you just said it. It is a chess play. A couple of the folks that I've been talking to, first of all, Mike from the World said that the first night that they turned out the lights, that turned the internet off, they killed 15,000 people.
One night.
First night that they shut the internet. The internet was out for 3 weeks. Mike, last Thursday, Mike said the number is 70,000 dead or more. Confirmed 70,000. 2,000 people had their eyes shot out. Okay. They shot them in the eyes, filling up the hospitals. They're stacking bodies. The morgues are completely overrun. The hospitals are overrun, and they're taking bodies and stacking them in military installation warehouses. They're anticipating that if the Americans bomb, it'll blow up those buildings, and then no one will ever be able to identify these bodies, and then the number won't be as high reported to the UN. So that's some of their strategy. The I've gotten from a couple other my insiders have said, do not be deceived or do not be tricked is the word they use about Trump and his negotiations for a nuclear deal. Okay. This is smoke and mirror. The real show is about to begin. Mm. That was one from one of our insiders in the NSA. And this is a different, I've got three now, actually, people. One's out of FEMA, two's out of the NSA that are giving us little bits and pieces. But so I think what's going to happen is this. He's doing this dog and pony show of negotiating, but in reality, he's going to eliminate the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. He is going to take him and that regime out of power. He's seen enough. There's so much bloodshed. They've executed, they've raped, they've murdered, they've tortured. I mean, it's just off the charts. It's some of the worst crimes against humanity that we've ever seen. And he's going to do it. Just like Maduro. If you remember, he was surrounding Venezuela and he took his time to a point that I thought he's not going to do anything, and then boom, it happened. I think very literally at any moment, we're going to get that information. And I think that's why the Iranians were sending a drone toward the USS Abraham Lincoln, gunboating. This is some desperation starting to take place here by the Iranians. So I really believe that Trump will take out this regime. And he's going to say that I tried. And then there's all these atrocities. They wouldn't quit. So I finally did it. He's got to sell a message. Trump has got to also convince the UN and the world that what he did had to be done, that he exhausted every ounce of diplomatic effort that he could do so that he's not looking like, the world conqueror. So I think we're going to see it anytime. I'm going to give it 10 days. I don't know.
Okay.
Anytime.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I have that feeling too. I really do. And it just seems like that it would be, I think he knows as far as his legacy in the Middle East to have allowed these many people's lives to be taken, this kind of, even not just murder, but the torture and the heinous way that this was done, as you said, on a level that, at least goes back to the Nazis. Maybe some of these things even worse, but from what we're hearing, but at least on that level, I don't think he wants his legacy to be that he just sit back and let all that happen and all he really got out of it was a nuclear deal. And because I think his ultimate thing is he's thinking about legacy. Of course, nobody loves Donald Trump more than Donald Trump, and he.
Can I quote you on that? Can I quote you on that?
Absolutely. You can quote me on that. Nobody loves Donald Trump more than Donald Trump. That is the truth. And Amen. So he wants his legacy. He wants that Nobel Peace Prize. He wants all of that. So the Middle East is huge to him, and I think he sees that the head of the snake is Iran. And so if you look at his pattern. It does look like you go back, you're talking about Maduro. I remember he was having a very positive phone call with Maduro just like 2 days before he came in there and got it. So, I hope that's the case for the Iranian people, because one of the things, before we move off Iran, one of the things I know that you're hearing, revival is happening in Iran. The pastors are getting out of prison and underground churches are coming out on the streets and people are getting saved in the midst of this being martyred, for their freedom and so forth. There's a revival happening.
Well, this is you've nailed it right here. This is what the full liberation of this is. And that is, it's not only are they going to be liberated from a tyrannical government and an ideology of just pure wickedness, but they're being spiritually, the people of Iran are being liberated by the Holy Ghost. There's an underground revival by the women, started by the women about 4 years ago, where they're just praying and fasting and move of God, and their people are coming to Christ. And then I was talking to Pastor Melvin Whittington about this the other day. We have reports that there's been now 1 million people in Iran who said Jesus Christ came to them in their dream and said, I am the Messiah. 1 million. 1 million. So this is not just a liberation of a wicked regime, but this is a liberation of a people. Now, if you go to Jeremiah 49, it says that the Lord says he sees Iran. He calls it Elam, and he says, "I will send the four winds of the earth from heaven, the four winds of heaven down on Elam, and I will remove the king and the prince." Okay, or the leadership. Let's just say the Ayatollah and the president. Let's say wipe them out. And he said, "And I will set, and there won't be one country on the earth that the remnant of the Elam will not be scattered around the world." So people will be leaving. There'll be a mass exodus of people getting out of there. And then the prophecy says, "And I will set my throne in Elam." God says, "For I am the Lord. I will set my throne in Elam. Thus saith the Lord." And it says, "For this will be in the latter days." This is, if you go to Jeremiah 49, read 34 through 39. "And I believe that," and this was a prophecy by the prophet Jeremiah, and he prophesied it in the first year of King Zedekiah of Israel. So this is a 3,000-year-old prophecy that's never happened. And I really believe that what Trump is going to do is remove the king. God's going to use him to remove the regime. But Christ is the one liberating the people. Okay?
Come on.
It's not Donald Trump. Trump's doing, that's why I'm writing my book, Trump versus the Beast. It isn't that it's Donald Trump. He's just the King Cyrus of our day. He's just the guy that has to do what needs to be done. He's not our pastor, okay?
Say that.
Can I say that?
Yes.
But he is the tool. He is the mechanism. He is the authority from a governmental position to be used. But it is Christ that's doing the liberation.
Come on.
And here's what's going to happen. When that regime gets removed, them women are already burning their burqas.
They are.
They're going to get a new government, and Christianity will become the leading religion in Iran. The throne of the Lord is going to be established. It's in our book. It's in the book of the Bible. It's happening. So I believe that, yes, Trump will make that move. He will remove that regime. And now, Christianity won't become the religion of Iran overnight. Right. Yeah. No stopping this thing. Once there has to be a void. When a house gets swept out, Jesus said, when it's cleaned and swept,
yep,
you got to feel that there's going to be a void. Yeah. Something's going to feel that. Either the Holy Ghost is going to do that, or the evil spirit will come back with 7 spirits worse than it was. And what's going to happen here? There'll be a void, but God is going to set His throne in Iran. I see it coming.
Can you imagine, Paul? I mean, let's dream a little bit. Can you imagine a year, 2 years from now, you and I are going back to Israel, and we literally say on our shows, and one of the trips we're going to do is we're going to go over into Tehran.
Yeah, we're going from here to Tehran.
Can you imagine that it would be safe, possibly, for a Christian to come in? I know they're not going to, they would probably still be Muslim. They would not let you proselyte on the streets and all that. But to be able to go into anywhere in Iran and people feel safe. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if revival breaks out, that's a possibility.
Yeah. There was a time back when the Shah of Iran was there that Christianity was being practiced openly there. Although it was the minority religion, it was a secular society. There were Muslims, there were Jews, there were Muslims, there were Christians. Right. It's when this revolution of 1979 took place, and when they, Jimmy Carter was so weak, he let them take those hostages, and he just would not deal with it the way you got to deal with things. And Reagan was going to deal with it the way it's got to be dealt with, and that's why they gave up. But and I'm going to say this. I know we haven't brought up Cuba, but
go ahead.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. And then there's another one. I'm telling you now, Venezuela's been liberated. We're in the process of liberating them. And it's going to take some time. It's going to take another administration. Okay. Iran's going to get ready to be liberated by the power of the Holy Ghost and the United States being used. Cuba's getting ready to get liberated too.
Wow.
They just lost their entire supply of oil from Venezuela. Mm-hmm. They're turning the power off 18 hours a day. that somebody's got to come to the rescue, and it's not going to be Russia, because Russia's not going to be allowed in this hemisphere. So watch and see if Marco Rubio is not used to help bring Cuba out of a communist nation back into a more of a democracy. I'm seeing this starting to develop. And then there's one more, North Korea.
What?
Now, think about this. If you're China, if you're United States, you're Donald Trump, you're taking over the Western Hemisphere, including Greenland and the Arctic. Russia, get out. He walked into Davos, and look, I did a show before the Davos conference, and I actually read the entire agenda, what they were going to do at Davos. Donald Trump's name was nowhere on this paper. Greenland was not on the agenda. The president just showed up, took the podium, started telling Macron that he had a bad looking eye. Good thing he's wearing those. Made fun of Gavin Newsom, threw a couple NATO guys under the bus, and basically said, do you guys want me to keep talking? Oh, by the way, we're taking Greenland. We got to do it. And he just did it. Now, if you're China, you just lost a big avenue of oil. You lost it. If Iran gets overthrown, you're going to lose your other big piece of oil. And if you can't go back to the Western Hemisphere because Trump's taking over the Western Hemisphere, what are you going to do then if Trump takes out your little brother? Korea, North Korea. What if he does? What if that's on the agenda, maybe for next year? If you're China, you're thinking, okay, he's killing us. He's taking out all of our oil, and now he's taking Cuba, and now he took Greenland, and now Russia's getting run out of the Arctic, and all I got left is little Kim Jong-un. And I'm starting to think that Trump's looking at these people being butchered and tortured and mutilated, and the Christians have been annihilated there, and the wickedness that's been going on there. I haven't heard one word of that. I'm just saying, I'm putting it on the table. You heard it here first. I'm putting it on the table. Wow. 2027, Kim Jong-un, you may come into the crosshairs.
Well, it is considered every single year when they list the persecution of Christians, the number one dangerous place in the world to be a Christian is North Korea in the world. Yes. Nothing's even close to it. Okay, so here's the thing, man. I've got a theory that I'm going to roll right with what you're saying.
Okay.
I think you opened it up, and I'm going to get to that. But before I get to that, I'm going to let everybody know you need to go to prophecyconference26.com. prophecyconference26.com. It is linked down below, and look at that lineup, and look who's headlining it all. Mr. Paul Begley from the Big Picture. Are you excited?
I am pumped over this. I am so pumped. I was watching Tony Merkel. And I had never heard him before. I like him. I really love Joseph Z. And then Alan
Didio.
I don't even know where he came from. Where did he come from?
Dude, he is blowing up. His show, he pastors a church near the Charlotte, North Carolina area, and God is using him on YouTube and with Destiny Image and publishing. He is a genius when it comes to Bible prophecy.
Wow. What a team of, and then, there's Larry and Sandy. So this is the must go. This is the must attend conference of the year.
Amen. It's March, it's May 27th, 28th, and 29th. Paul will be with us. Paul and you're going to, is Heidi coming?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Oh,
yeah. Yeah. Heidi's coming. Absolutely.
That's awesome. So listen, you need to come just to meet Paul and Heidi. March 27th, 28th, and 29th is going to be listen to this lineup. Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday night. I mean, that is a packed conference. We're going to have roundtable discussions, Q&A from the crowd. We're going to be having chairs sitting up there where sometimes all of the people are going to be up there. We're going to be taking questions. Then we'll have keynote speakers. But especially that Sunday morning, you need to go, when you get your hotel room, you need to make sure that you don't check out until Monday morning, because Sunday morning and Sunday night is Paul Begley himself going to have the pulpit to himself. It's going to be awesome.
You know what? I love it. I love it. I love coming to Birmingham. And this conference is going to be so good. I'm looking so forward to meeting these other guys and meeting the people who come. That's why, folks, you do come.
Yes.
Come here, please. And they can save money right now, right? If they use some promo, they can.
Yeah. Now look here. Let's talk about that. So when you go to prophecyconference26.com, you'll go down and you'll see all the guests and all the layout of it. Then if you're looking for hotels, we've got the hotels listed as well. Each of these 3 hotels are literally within 5 minutes of the church. So these are the ones that you can use. Now you can get anywhere you want to, directions to it. But when you click on buy tickets, you'll see that the general registration is $79, which, think about, you got a Friday night, 3 sessions, 3 services, full services on Saturday and 2 on Sunday for $79. You just can't find that in most conferences.
No.
But we did offer also, for those that just couldn't make it, we have a streaming option for $29, and that's going to be on our website behind a paywall. The reason we're doing that, Paul, is we can't stream this on YouTube and Facebook because I told our viewers, we are not going to tie the hands of any of our speakers. There's going to be no topic off limits. We're going to be able to address anything. We're going to get into the Epstein files. We're going whatever question comes up. We're not going to be thinking, oh well, I don't want to get flagged. We're not going to worry about it. So you can get a streaming option as well. Now, Paul, you mentioned a discount. Let me just say this right now. Okay, I want to really push everybody to tonight, because tonight, of course, you have Mike from around the world that's going to be on your program. Yep. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag. I'm going to let you reveal that on your show tonight. So I want all of our viewers that are watching this program to go over to Paul's show tonight, and at some point tonight, he's going to release to you a way that you can get your tickets even cheaper than this and come to Birmingham. Is that good? I'm giving it to you on your show.
Yes, perfect. I will do that tonight with Mike from around the world. So be sure you are there. Go straight there after this broadcast and find out how you can really save some money in this conference as well. And I love the fact that you're streaming it. It's very important to do this. And yes, that's why we do our webinars all the time on our website, because you just can't talk about everything on YouTube, on these other platforms. You just can't. So it's also an opportunity for people to be able to contribute to this type of material, this type of speakers, and this type of cost it takes to make these things happen. So, All right.
Okay.
I'll break it out.
Yep. All right, let's get back into this. I want to take about 5 to 10 minutes and just ask your opinion of the so-called board of peace. I want to know what you think about the board of peace.
Wow. I'm so convoluted with this. And the reason I am is I understand what the president is trying to do. And that is, he would love for the wars to stop. Okay. And for people to learn to get along. And he really believes that if you're working together in commerce, you won't be shooting each other. And he's right. But what I think what the president doesn't understand is is you're not dealing with, you got people who don't care about economics as much as they care about their ideology. And when it comes to radical Islam, that's what it is, radical. And it doesn't care. It don't care. I mean, they'll blow themselves up. We're talking about suicide, radicalism. They don't care. So Trump has set up this board of peace. You know, he's got Kushner on there. He's got Witkoff on there. He's got Rubio on there. He's got Tony Blair, who's everywhere. And I wrote about him 13 years ago. And I told people, you'll see Tony Blair will play a key role in the Middle East. And here he is. And then you got all these other Islamic leaders. And he's trying to create this board of peace. But, and it's a good thought. But in reality, it won't work. And the reason it won't work is Jesus Christ, really, seriously, the only peace, we'll talk about peace, and maybe they'll even sign they'll structure it and get things going, but there will be no peace really till the King of Kings, the Prince of Peace comes. I don't believe this is the covenant with many. I think the Abraham Accords is going to become that. Trump has done 3 things. He's expanded the Abraham Accords. He has created this board of peace, and he had 20 nations sign a peace deal in Egypt earlier this year or last fall. So he's three different options.
Paul, I don't know what just happened. I think the government must be listening to us. In the history of the big picture, that's never happened. In the middle of our recording, it just stopped. It said an unexpected error. Man, I think they don't like us talking about the board of peace because that was crazy.
I mean, you know what? This is the first time ever, and the conversation is about the board of peace.
And you were telling us that you had just laid out all three things that he's done, and then you were about to say what you thought was coming out of that, what the next steps for the board of peace and all that was going to be. So we're going to slap the NSA upside the head and keep going.
Let's keep going. Okay, so this is a hot topic for the NSA and for the world, really. But yeah, President Trump, expanded the Abraham Accords in his first term. And then, he had the peace signing, 20 nations in Egypt signed that peace signing. And then now the Board of Peace. And these three different peace initiatives, I believe, are going to come in together as one. And that may be the covenant with many. Wow. And then if that is the covenant with many, let's say, the Bible tells us that then the Antichrist is the one actually who comes and confirms it. So I have a feeling that what God is doing here is prophecies unfolding again. We're watching it right in front of our eyes. I can't get over the fact that Dr. Irvin Baxter told me that when you see a bunch of nations sign a peace deal, he said, and I said, well, what is a bunch? He said, let's say 20 or so. Okay. So, and guess what? When those 20 people, those 20 nations did that in Egypt, I about fell out of my chair. But what really knocked me off the chair was the fact that Dr. Thomas Horn, before he died, was doing an interview with Derek Gilbert. And Derek Gilbert said, hey, Dr. Horn, did you realize that 3.5 years exactly to the day when Apophis comes to hit or come by the earth, it will be October 13th, 2025. And that's the last day of the Feast of Tabernacles. And Dr. Horn said, wow, maybe that I'm not saying it is, but he said, it could be the start of the 7 years. Okay. So what day did he say? October 13th, 2025. Baxter says to me, when you see 20 nations or more sign a peace deal, that is day one of the 7-year period. Well, guess what day they signed it? October 13th, 2025. What is the odds?
Yeah.
Impossible odds. Now, I'm not saying that we've entered into the 7 years, Larry. I'm not. But what I'm saying is there's a convergence of prophetic. These are men of God, very powerful, well-respected prophetic men of God who both went on to be with the Lord, who basically identified the same day for two different reasons. And it's coming to pass. So I think that the three different options of this peace arrangements that Trump is working on may be coming together under the banner of the ultimate covenant with many. And if that's the case, we have absolutely moved into a new level now of prophetic watch. And I think the rapture is going to come first, okay, before the tribulation period begins. But I don't know where that covenant of many gets signed at. I don't know if that's in the beginning, the middle.
Yeah, right.
I'm not sure. Okay. Yeah. I just know this. We're getting in this ballpark, okay?
Because you said the key word is that he confirms. He confirms. So that confirmation could come long after this thing is sealed.
20 years from now. Right. It could be.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. Wow. Okay. So the government tried to knock us off, or aliens or something tried to knock us off, but we're back and we finished that point. So I feel the same way you do about the Board of Peace. I'm troubled by it. But just some of the lingo that's being said, the way it's being promoted, it does seem really very similar to things that we saw the Antichrist, the beast system, is going to come out of. But we also know that some things are are distractions. Some things are types and shadows. Some things are, cyclical. They're just sort of going back full circle to try to just, over time, we've seen history repeat itself and rhyme. And sometimes it just sort of points to something that's coming even bigger. I don't know what's going to come out of it. I don't think that the Board of Peace makes most people who believe in prophecy believes in prophecy teaching comfortable. I just don't.
Not make any of us comfortable. That's right.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So something else that doesn't make me comfortable is what I believe is absolutely going to come out. We touched on it early in the program with the human-like beings or whatever they was that happened in Venezuela. And some people are believing that those beings are some type of come out of contact with whatever these beings are. Okay, so we have the Age of Disclosure video that came out I think it was November on Amazon of last year. The documentary where you have Marco Rubio, many others on the government, on the record for the first time ever, openly saying without reservation, we are not alone. They start the program. I don't know if you've seen it yet, the documentary.
I haven't seen it all. No, I have not.
So we tell our listeners all the time, watch this. You need to watch it because you need to understand the narrative that they've come out with now. So the beginning of this documentary, there's like 7 or 8 high officials, including Marco Rubio, that they just cut to the videos and they all say, we are not alone. 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 Just one by one. All these, I'm talking about 2- and 3-star generals, we are not alone. And so they're setting it up. Now, in certain places in that video, they say the words that we hear often, interdimensional. They say that. So they're setting us up for something. So that's a documentary. Then you have, in June of this year, Steven Spielberg's movie he's coming out with called Disclosure Day. Okay. So one of the things that I put together, I was one of the presenters on L.A. Marzulli's recent UFO conference that he had, the Great Deception. And in my presentation, I showed something that a lot of people didn't know. I showed the tie between those two movies because these two guys, the guy that directed The Age of Disclosure and Steven Spielberg, are very close, if not some best friends. They have done a lot of things together. They actually did a movie together called Ready Player One that I also tell people is a predictive program you need to watch. It's about a dystopian future after AI takes over. And so they come together and they're going to make this movie within 8 months of each other. We have the government having hearings for the first time when we used to be made fun of if we even talked about aliens. Now they're openly saying we're not alone. You have the Age of Disclosure that comes out at the end of 25. You have the Disclosure Day coming out in the summer. It's going to be a blockbuster. It's going to be a huge movie.
Huge.
And I'm telling you, I believe 26, and most of the experts that I show some clips on are talking about really 27, that 26 is the year that primes us for the message. I believe disclosure is coming, and I want to get your opinion on what do you think that means? And then the second part of that question is, do you think Donald Trump would allow anyone else in the world to announce as a president or a prime minister that we are not alone? As I said earlier, I'll say again, nobody loves Donald Trump like Donald Trump, and he is not going to allow anybody else to make that statement. Your thoughts?
Wow. Well, it's very astute observation about disclosure, the Age of Disclosure, and then, of course, Disclosure Day. I agree with you. It may be the single most largest blockbuster in the history of cinema. I'm going to make that prediction. It will be the biggest on, I believe it's June the 12th. Yeah.
Yep.
They have been for some time inching us toward some type of an announcement, some type of a revelation, some type of a revealing. And I honestly believe, I know for sure we have fallen angels. I absolutely know that we have Nephilim, that we've had Nephilim, and that we probably have Nephilim right now. And I do believe that Lucifer is going to use this as a strong delusion, as it says in 2 Thessalonians 2, to deceive the masses of the world. And even the very elect, if it's possible, according to Jesus. This is going to be a moment where it will strike fear into people that there's actually something besides us, that we're really not alone. It is going to be interdimensional. I believe that these are fallen angels that are going to be revealed. They can take on the angel of light if they want to. They can become transformed into that. They can become human. They can become reptilian. They can take on any kind of form they want. These are fallen angels with the same power that the good angels have. And it is going to happen. If it's going to happen in 2027, then absolutely it'll be President Trump that will announce to the world that we've known about these. We've been in contact with these beings for years. We've been negotiating with them. They are upset at the way we've been doing so many wars. Now here, let's throw in your 3-piece things. Why are they going to be revealed? If the world is at a moment where it's struggling with the 3-piece offer, and they show up and they say, you guys need to make this happen. We're here because you guys can't control yourself. We are your creators. And this is what I'm predicting. We had the creationism. That's the Bible. God created all things and is fully in control. Then Darwinism comes along and says, no, it's natural selection. We just evolve. We come out of we evolve from apes or monkeys or other types of beings, and there's no God, and that was called Darwinism. But Darwinism failed when DNA was discovered, because when DNA was discovered, when we check the DNA, there is no animal DNA in our DNA. Okay. So we're our own species. So forget that. Darwinism died the day DNA was discovered. So are we going to go back to creationism? No. Here's and I've been using this word. I'll say I coined it. Alienism. We came from aliens. They see us here. They're our creator. There is no God. It's us. We're here. We brought you here. We seated you here. We've been watching you from afar. We've been coming in and out of dimension. We've even picked some of you up and took you in and checked you out and see what's going on with you. We probed you. We did this with you. We've been flowing around. You've been seeing us. We've been slowly bringing it forward that we wanted to share this. And now we are here. And this is how I think the Antichrist comes into power, because the world is going to be stunned. Christians are going to have to understand these are not aliens from another galaxy, that these are demonic beings. These are the fallen ones. And so we're going to have to point right at, I don't care who introduces it. I don't care if Trump does. I don't care if it's the King of England. I don't care who says it. They are beings. They are interdimensional. They are super powerful, but they are not our creator.
No, they are not. And I think you're spot on.
Yep.
I think you're spot on. And I want to continue in that thought. And I want to say that when you said something about North Korea earlier in the program, that could be on the radar for Donald Trump. And of course, they're a nuclear power. And then you have Russia's a nuclear power. You have China's a nuclear power. And we're a nuclear power. I've often thought, and that's one of the things that I know you've heard L.A. Marzulli say, that he feels like one of the things that is going to trigger disclosure and force the hand of disclosure is the potential of nuclear warfare. So It's like, if Trump, I could almost see a scenario where Trump just all of a sudden gets excited. He's done this. He's changed Iran. Now I'm going to take care of North Korea. And then little Kim just says, well, I'm just going to press the button. I'm just going to go ahead. If I'm going out, the whole world's going out. And then these aliens who people have said were able to disarm missiles at times before, even back in the 50s and 60s. I think they're going to come. It's going to sort of force their hand. And I can almost see it being revealed. Listen, these beings have been behind the scenes trying to keep us all together, but they see that we can't be trusted anymore. They have the ability to just disarm and turn off the switches. So the only way we're going to be able to stop mutual destruction, global destruction, and nuclear warfare is we need these beings to step on the scene, turn off everybody's nuclear weapons. And while they're at it, now that you know they're real, they want to go ahead and talk to you, and they want to go ahead and tell you that they are God and they made you. And I could I could see that elevate. My personal opinion, if Donald Trump is going to be the one, He'll try his best to get through the 250 anniversary. He'll try to get through the Olympics. And then as he's getting close to the end of his term, say, look, there's something I need to tell you before I get out of here, because there ain't no way if he's told by intelligence, hey, within the next 2 or 3 years, a world leader is going to be forced to admit this. He's not going to think, oh, well, I'm not giving anybody else a chance to be that guy.
Yeah, yeah.
It's going to be me. So all that together, I feel like if there is going to be a disclosure, I feel like it's probably going to be during President Trump's administration. And I agree with you 100%. I mean, we've known this since we were kids, being raised in church, that they were going to explain the rapture by UFOs. We just didn't know how they're going to do it. But I think you're spot on. I think that I love that term, and I will give you credit that you coined it, alienism. That's a good one. That's a good one, because that really is the replacement of Darwinism.
Yeah, you had to do something. So you had creationism. Darwinism was to do away with God.
Mm-hmm.
But then science proved Darwinism was flawed.
Yep.
So they had to do something. Well, alienism says, don't worry, there is no God. It's us. We were here all the time. Remember, ancient aliens, they say this all the time.
Yep.
You're not alone. You have never been alone. Remember that? How many times have they said that?
Absolutely.
And if this is so, then could it be that it's this? Okay. It's always about aliens are superior. There's good ones, there's bad ones. They try to tell us that we were seated. We were seated here. They are our father. They are our creator. Yep. And they've come now because we're about ready to blow ourselves up. And they've come to fix it. Yep. And
they want to be the savior. They want to be the savior. But we have a savior. Paul, we have about 5 minutes left. Can you just talk to the big picture family, and just for those that might be afraid, that might be scared, to be in this moment and just speak out of your heart?
Here's the good news. Jesus Christ is still sitting on the throne. Not one thing that happens does he not know and is in control. God is waiting for the right moment to send his son, Jesus Christ, here. And remember, when Christ comes, he is going to destroy. First of all, he raptures the church. He raises the dead. The resurrection, the rapture, God is going to do that. And then after a series of things happen, of course, there has to be a reckoning where the Lord says, that's enough. This beast, this false prophet, these lying demons, we're going to put an end to them. And so we have nothing to fear, okay? Stay grounded in the word of God. The Lord is on our side. We're the winners. We've read the book. And now the plan of the enemy is starting to be revealed right before our very eyes. And so if you're watching right now, let's say, and you're not saved, and many folks are watching these programs here on The Big Picture, and if the Lord is speaking to your heart, he has not given us the spirit of fear, okay? But to be inside of us is love and power and a sound mind. He's given us the authority. We still have dominion on earth. Did you realize that no one else has got the dominion on this planet? Not even the fallen angels that come in and out. We're still in dominion, given to Adam over the animals and over everything that comes in here. We deal with the prince of the power of the air. We do deal with spiritual wickedness. But at the end of the day, folks, we're still the children of the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Keep your eyes on Jesus. Give your life to Jesus Christ. Be saved and be ready. He's coming soon.
Woo! Come on. Yes, the crowd loves that, brother. Come on.
Let's get ready. Yes. Are you serious? He's coming.
Paul, is there ever been a year that people need to go to Israel with us?
Oh, thank you for bringing it up, folks. You got time to do it. Join us, please. No, there's never been a better year. This is the greatest Israeli tour will ever be put together. I can't wait. Heidi and I are going with Bishop Larry and Sandy Ragland. It's going to be 10 days of glory.
Yes. Okay. And listen, all you got to do, big picture, is go to Israel26.com. Israel26.com is going to take you straight to the registration. Registration is now open. As you can see, the Big Picture Israel Tour with Pastor Larry and Sandy and Pastor Paul and Heidi Begley. The only time I've ever been to Israel, I was with you guys. Y'all had an amazing trip. And I just thought, well, if I ever lead one, I got to co-lead with my friend first.
Thank you.
And so we're gonna go. We're gonna fill those buses up, man. The fun that we're gonna have, the itinerary that we're gonna have is just incredible. It is. Registration is open now. I mean, look at this. We're gonna go to the Temple Mount. That's the Mount of Olives. We're gonna get in the boat, brother.
The Sea of Galilee,
the gates of hell, Caesarea Philippi, Mount Hermon. Oh my goodness!
Carmel, you preached there last time.
Yes, I did, and I can't wait to. I got people from my church going. We got our Big Picture family going, and I know how it is when you and Heidi go. This is such a special time for the Paul Begley Prophecy family. You make lifetime friends. I mean, it's just an incredible, incredible experience. Go there now. This is what I say to you. If you want to show God that you have faith, even if you don't have the money, you can't figure out how in the world you'll ever be able to get off work. That's what you're thinking right now. But here's what I tell my church all the time. Well, what if God was to just work that out and you don't have a passport? You can't go. You remember what happened to Delane last year?
Oh, I remember. And then I tried to get him in at the last hour and I couldn't get him in.
Couldn't get him in because he waited too long to get his passport.
Does he have one now?
Oh, he's got it. Are you kidding me? He made sure this wasn't going to happen again.
He's going to have a time of his life.
Him and Delane and Michelle, our friends, will be there with us. How about this? My friend that connected me and you, we're all going to be together in Israel. It's just going to be amazing.
Oh, awesome. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
You have to come, folks. Please.
You have to come.
Do what Larry said. Go ahead right now and put your deposit down. Get your seat. Yourself locked in, and then let the Lord show you how he's going to help you with the finances to be able to go. You're going to be able to go. There's family members that want to send you. There's your local church wants to send you. There's people that want to see you go. So take a faith leap. Get up, put the deposit down. Get ready. Let's go.
All right. So before we get off of here, I want to make sure everybody knows how to do this. Go to paulbegleyprophecy.com. All of this is linked down below. Everything Paul Begley related. And by the way, I'm just going to Israel. This dude's going all over the world. You got like 5 or 6 different trips you could go with Paul Begley around the world. God is using him mightily. The graphics that he has on his latest, as you can see, webinar, The Beast Cometh. Oh my goodness. That thing is scary, man. We got to cast the devil out of that thing. But it's all there. PaulBegleyProphecy.com down below. Paul, from the bottom of my heart, as always, the Big Picture family loves you. Sandy and I love you, and Heidi so much. Thank you for being a part of the Big Picture.
Thank you, Larry. I love you guys. Love you and Sandy. Love your church. Can't wait to see you in March for the Prophecy Conference. It's going to be awesome.
That's right. You better hurry up and get over and get on the phone. Mike's on his way. Mike from around the world's coming.
I gotta go.
He's coming. See you, buddy. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody for joining us on The Big Picture. It has been an incredible, incredible show with my friend Paul Begley. Go to paulbegleyprophecy.com, larryragland.com. Consider becoming a partner with us. We would greatly, greatly appreciate that. We always want to remind you here on the Big Picture that we ain't woke, but we certainly are awake. See you next time. God bless.
Help us build the Big Picture family. We're on a mission to wake up the world to what is really going on. Go to larryragland.com to give a one-time gift or become a monthly partner. Any amount blesses the entire Big Picture family. While you're there, pick up our book, I See Greatness in You. Browse our merchandise store. Connect on social media and get on the Big Picture mailing list at larryragland.com. Join us and be a part of the Big Picture family, where we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake.
You're watching The Big Picture.